Hello, hello, I'm Tracy Pierce. Thanks for joining me today for this series of free mini animal communications. This series is really born out of what's been going on here, around the world, but particularly my part of the world here in the US with the various lockdowns, the shelter-in-place orders for the coronavirus pandemic. And as all this was unfolding, the beginning mid-March, I really started to wonder what the animals thought about all of this. And that's really what this series was born from, was my curiosity of what the animals were thinking during this situation. And they also kept, every time I was like, well, do I really want to do this? The animals are kind of pinging me above. They're like, yes, do it. So that's how this series was born. And I'm really inviting people to share their pets, any wild animals, that they're interested to know what might be happening for them in this during this situation. So today, let me get the screen share up here. We're going to be talking with some wild chipmunks. This image was sent to me by a friend. She's got this, I think these ones are little babies. That's what they look like to me. Have some wild chipmunks hanging out in their wood pile. So she was able to get a picture of a couple of them. I think these are the babies. We'll see if they come forward or if perhaps the parents decide to come forward. Get my screen set up here. So if you're joining me live, you can use the chat box on Zoom, or if you're joining me live on Facebook, just enter your questions into the comments. And this can be very interactive if you're interested to ask these animals some questions, and we'll see what they have to share with us. So I'm just going to get quiet and start tuning into these chipmunks and just allowing them to come forward and see what they would like to share. I feel a lot of, what's the right word here? Vibrating energy, like they feel like they're moving a lot. They're moving very fast, and this kind of very fast energy. Yeah, they're showing, because of their smallness, they're able to kind of zip, zip, zip into different places. Yeah, and right now I'm really feeling them coming forward more as a group. Maybe it's this family unit rather than one of these individual chipmunks. So chipmunk friends, I wonder what you might like to share with us today, either about yourself or what's happening for you or your vision of the world, or whatever else actually you might like to share with us. It's kind of up to you guys. Yeah, what I'm feeling standing out in their energy, again, is this quickness, this almost lightning kind of quickness in how they do things. They really like that feeling of quickness. It makes them feel um, safe, is what they're saying. Their speed is part of how they are able to survive. And also having a lot of good hiding places is what they say. So are there more than just the two of you living in this woodpile right now? I feel like 6 little babies is what I'm feeling. And it does feel like 2 more full-grown chipmunks. I wonder if there's anything you would like for us to know, or the human who sent us your picture. Maybe you might like to tell her something. I just keeps showing this really fast motion thing. It's really dominating the feeling of what's happening right now. They're saying we're very observant, so it's more, this quickness is more than just their physical movements. It also has to do with how they're thinking and observing things. Is showing that things happen very quickly in their world. They have to pay attention a lot. Showing like as a prey animal, there is a different level of awareness they feel they have to have than, say, the mountain lions that hang out in their neighborhood. The chipmunk is, I really feel this one in the foreground here, more to the right and lower. He's showing, gosh, sometimes I wish I could be a mountain lion or some kind of predator animal. He feels like they actually get to relax a lot more than prey animals sometimes. Can you say more about that? Well, we always have to be on the alert for predator animals. Predator animals don't have to be. Like, they're the predator. They go after something, they have their dinner, they lay down, they take a nap. It's very different for us. This chipmunk is showing how there is this almost kind of constant need for food and looking for food. We tend to be kind of preoccupied with that, and we always have to be watch out that we don't become food at the same time. Yeah, there's a different level of alertness. He's saying there's the alertness level between a prey animal and a predator animal is very different. All right, looks like we have a question here. Let me get this pulled up here. All right, so do you have any tips for how I can discourage our chipmunks in the backyard from ending up in our ground swimming pool? I really love that. Do you have any ideas about that, chipmunk? Well, what he's showing, and Nancy, I'm not sure if I'm 100% and understanding your swimming pool description, but what they are showing me is they are naturally attracted to water, and not for swimming or anything, but to, hey, we could drink this. Like, they're always looking for a source of water. And the way swimming pools are most of the time is there's an edge and then it's deep water. Whereas if you're talking about a lake or a natural forming water source, it's more of an easy transition where, there's a bank that kind of slowly drops in. And so he said it's a lot to do with chipmunks not understanding that, oh, the water is super deep here. They think they're expecting it to go on this gradual incline, and that swimming pools can be kind of confusing to them, and that's how they end up in there. Do you have any suggestions for how she might be able to keep the chipmunks from going in the pool? Well, he's showing kind of a barricade, but he's also saying, I'm not sure if that would actually work because, even if you had like a layer of bricks or something, I guess is what I'm seeing. It's like they're just going to go over those and in anyways. Hmm. And Nancy, I don't know how much of an inconvenience this might be for you. I don't know how big your pool is, but he is showing like a cover over the pool. Yeah, he's saying, this is something for really any kind of wildlife. They are very attracted to water. It's one of the you know, basic necessities that all animals need. And if they see water, generally they are going to be attracted to it. I wonder, chipmunks, now I don't know about this. I just wonder about your feelings on this. I think sometimes there are like sprays that have a predator scent in them. Is that something you guys are sensitive to? Like maybe she could put it around the edges of her pool or something? So he's saying, yeah, there are definite like predator scents that they are repelled by. Says the problem with those sprays and stuff is that if you live in an area where it rains a lot, it's going to wash those scents away. And it might be something that you would have to reapply a lot. And do you feel like there's any way that she might be able to like broadcast a telepathic message or something to the chipmunks who live in her yard? Well, she could certainly try, is what he's saying. So what he's suggesting, Nancy, is I don't know if you do any kind of meditation or other kind of spiritual practices, but so what he's showing me is like sitting in your yard and just having the intention of energetically connecting with the chipmunks or other wildlife that may be in your neighborhood or in your yard. And what he's showing me is if you would show them the swimming pool, like with one of those, you know, like on non-smoking, it's the red circle with the line through it. If you would show that kind of over the pool, it might be something that you could telepathically broadcast on a regular basis out to the wildlife in your yard and see if they catch on. Um, just broadcasting that this could be a dangerous area for them. Nancy has a further question here, Little Chipmunks. She's wondering if an alternative source of water would be good, such as shallow bowls of water. Saying yes, that could be a good idea. And saying that if you decide to do the scent thing, to be sure to put the bowls of water not too close to where you spray the scent. But if you decide to not spray the scent around the pool, that it could be something where you place it not right next to the pool, but kind of close. And he's saying that they might even be more attracted to those bowls of water because they have less chlorine or less extra chemicals in them. Yeah, he does feel like that could be a good idea, Nancy. So yeah, I definitely try that. If let me know how it goes. All right, Kim has a question for you guys too here. With all the busyness that you guys said that you have, how do you find how do you rest and find balance so you don't burn out with all the hypervigilance? Well, he's saying it's different we're different from humans, whereas our bodies and our metabolism are set to have this really busy, active kind of work, and it's very different for humans. Is the first thing he's saying. He's like, don't think that the way we live is a good way for you to live. And it does feel like they kind of trade off, like watch duty. Like, do you guys all sleep through the night together? Yes, usually we all sleep through the night together. We're really packed into, there's like he's showing like a burrow, we're all together, and that helps us feel safe. So do you guys rest through the day? And because I feel like you were showing me like one person or one of the chipmunks might kind of keep a lookout. I feel like I'm not quite catching what you're showing me here. Yeah, he's saying he doesn't feel like it's a hypervigilance or overvigilance where he does feel like humans get that way sometimes. He doesn't feel like that's true for his situation and the busyness and the fast movement. Like he doesn't feel like that's out of balance for him. Whereas like with a human or other predator animal, it would be an out of balance kind of thing. And he's also showing it is kind of these bursts of activity where do things, come back, hang out in the wood pile, pause for a minute and watch. Okay, that's really interesting. It's like, I don't recommend my energy level for humans at all. It's not, it doesn't gel. It's not the right thing for humans to act the way I do. Yeah, so I definitely don't want to convey that I think busyness is good. It's just part of our species and the way that we get things done. And he says, I don't feel like we get burned out from it. It's the way we're adapted to live. So I wonder, we really started this conversation born out of what's happening with the coronavirus and the humans being all kind of shelter in place and locked down. I wonder if you guys have noticed anything about what's happening, around you or your vision on the world here. Well, they don't feel like where they're at, that it has had very much effect on them. Where they live is well out in the country, and it's like there weren't that many humans out here in the first place already. So, like as far as their view of the world, it doesn't look so different to them. Do you have any advice for humans who are, in this shelter in place order or dealing with various other things that are coming forward from this pandemic and the lockdown, unemployment, all of those things? Well, humans aren't the most important thing in the world, is what I hear one of them say. Humans tend to have a very elevated view of themselves, and whether that actually matches or works with the world is a whole other question. He doesn't feel like he actually feels so his connection has a lot to do with feeling the earth, and he says that he feels there's this kind of sigh from the earth. That's what he feels the most as a result of this coronavirus thing, is an exhale, a sigh of relief from the earth. And yeah, this chipmunk saying humans are not as important as they think they are in the grand scheme of things. They think they're the smartest, but really they're the ones who are living the most out of balance of all the animals with nature, with the earth, and are most at risk for, I see like people falling off the side of a cliff is like we're really at a risk of falling. Okay, so we've got more here. So maybe humans need to learn to be more true to what is natural to us. How can we be more aware of other animals and species? Yeah, as Chipmunk says, I don't feel like humans really know what is true and natural to themselves, that they're so imprinted by culture and society that most people have no idea what is true or natural to them. Showing this whole evolutionary kind of process where, we live in houses with running water, and we think we need this and this and this to survive versus, hundreds of years ago, he's showing me like a nomad who just has, showing like a typical stick with the hobo pack, you know, over their back. And like that, the chipmunk is saying like that the old carrying the hobo stick is actually much more true and natural in his opinion, to what the humans really are. But he's showing like this divergent road where we've gone so far off of what is true and natural that, do you feel like there's hope for humans to come back? It's like, not without a major shakeup. And he's like, there's plenty of people trying to be more natural or true, but he actually feels like it's quite difficult for humans to do that, to be more true and natural as a species. Do you feel like there's a way we can be more aware of other animals and other species? Open your eyes! It's like what he's screaming. Like, he just shows me one of those cartoon characters with the big eyelashes, just like, open your eyes. Like, it's all around you. He's showing most people walk around, you know how they put the blinders on the horses? It's like most humans walk around like this. They're so focused. He shows like looking at a phone or a computer. They're so focused on their technology. They have no idea what's going on around them. Yeah, he's almost feeling like it's a good thing we're pretty so far high up on the food chain. He's like, you guys aren't the highest up, of course, but there's no way that any other animal species could survive the way humans have, is what he's saying. Yeah, humans think they are so smart, but they actually don't have a lot of wisdom about interacting harmoniously with nature. Do you feel that there's a way we could get back to that? Well, he feels like with the coronavirus, like it's going to take a shakeup of that level. And he doesn't, I mean, he's even seeing like, okay, so with the coronavirus, people really want to go, they just want to go back to normal, quote unquote normal, right? And he feels like generally humans are doing everything they can to avoid looking at these issues and what's happening. So it becomes actually, it almost sounds to me, little chipmunk friend, like you don't have a lot of hope for the human race. Is that true? You guys are pretty messed up. Okay, I agree with you. Is there anything else you want to say about that? Do you feel like there's a road back for humans? It's going to be very slow. And he's showing, you know, people like me doing animal communication or other kinds of services or things like this that bring awareness can be helpful, but he sees it more as like a going forward rather than like we're never going to be able to go back to how things were. And he just shows this big question mark on the future. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't feel super hopeful about humans and the way that they are living their lives and as far as coming back or becoming more aware. He does like that there are people um, like me or other people who work with animals or are doing, I hear the word social justice kind of things in the world. He likes that, but he doesn't feel like there are enough people that it's going to make a big impact at this time. Like, and then he's showing like global climate change and stuff. It's like, Tracy, you've been working on that stuff since the early 90s, and how far do you think we've gotten? It's like, doesn't it feel like you're banging your head against the wall sometimes? Like, yeah, it does. It does. It feels kind of diminishing to me. He's like, I'm not saying to stop doing that. Like, he wants, you know, environmental, you know, people who are working on environmental issues to keep doing that. He's just showing because of culture and society, it's just going to be a much longer trajectory unless something more major happens from this coronavirus outbreak, he's like, he shows this cage kind of being rattled and shaken. He's like, this could help. I don't know. Um, but overall, it seems like his opinion of humans isn't very high. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. I can relate to what you're saying, and how we as humans have really just taken whatever we wanted from the earth. So wow, that we are way past our time already. Thank you, Chipmunk friends, for sharing with us. I wonder if there's anything else you might like to tell us before we end our session here today. He says, I'm not hopeless. I want you to understand I'm not hopeless. Like there could be something really good come out of this, and maybe humans will evolve, but it's just going to be much slower than what you would like it to be, Tracy. Okay, thank you so much. We got our friends saying thank you for sharing. So thanks so much, our chipmunk friends. So thanks so much for everybody who joined me here today. This has been a really fun project for me to get to talk to all these different animals and get their opinions and their views and to share them with you. So I hope you've enjoyed this session today, and I'm going to be doing these till the end of April. So I've got about 2 weeks left as of today's recording date. So if you have an animal friend who would like to get in on the conversation and share their wisdom with the world, be sure to send me a message and include a picture of your animal friend. And if it's a domestic animal, send me their name and age as well. All right, thanks for joining me. And again, until next time, take care and be well.